The Children's Bible, Daniel 5, Writing on the Wall. Upon the death of Nebuchadnezzar, his son, Belshazzar, became king. Belshazzar gave a great feast for 1,000 of his lords, and drank wine before the 1,000. They brought the golden vessels that had been taken out of the temple of the house of God, and his princes, and his wives, and the other women drank from them. They drank wine, and they praised the gods of gold, of silver, and of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. Within that same hour there appeared the fingers of a man's hand, writing upon the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's face changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his legs were loose and his knees knocked together. The king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And the king said to these wise men of Babylon, "Whoever reads this writing and tells me the meaning of it shall be clothed in scarlet and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the country." All the king's wise men came in, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king the meaning of it. Now the queen, called by the king and his lords, came into the banqueting room. And the queen spoke and said, "O king, live forever. Do not let your thoughts trouble you, nor let your face change. There is a man in your kingdom who has in him the spirit of the holy gods. In the days of your father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him. The king, Nebuchadnezzar your father, made him master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers, because of his excellent spirit and knowledge, and understanding, interpreting of dreams, and explaining of hard sentences, and clearing up of doubts. And all this Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar, accomplished. Now let Daniel be called, and he will tell you the meaning of this." Then Daniel was brought in before the king, and the king said to Daniel, "Are you that Daniel, who is one of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of the land of Jews? I have heard of you that the spirit of the gods is in you, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom are found in you. Now the wise men and astrologers have been brought in before me to read this writing and tell me the meaning of it, but they could not interpret it for me. I have heard of you that you can give interpretations and clear meanings." Then Daniel answered and said to the king, "O king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father a kingdom and majesty and glory and honor. And because of the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared him. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, his kingly throne was taken from him, and his glory was taken from him, until he knew that the Most High God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he chooses whomever he wishes to rule over it. And you his son, O Belshazzar, have not kept your heart simple, though you knew all this, but you have lifted yourself up against the Lord of heaven. They have brought you the vessels of his house, and you and your lords and your wives and other women have drunk wine in them. And you have praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which you do not see, nor hear, nor know. And the God in whose hand your breath of life is, and whose ways should be yours, him you have not praised. This hand, then, was sent from him, and the writing by his hand was written by his hand, and this is the writing that was written. Mene, mene, tekel upharsin. And this is the meaning of the word. Mene, God has judged your kingdom and finished it. Tekel, you have been weighed in the scales and found lacking. Upharsin, your kingdom will be divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Then Belshazzar commanded that they clothe David in scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck. And he made a proclamation saying that he was to be the third ruler in the kingdom. That night Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, was killed, and Darius the Mede took his kingdom, being about 62 years old.